Hi, everyone.
Hi, hi, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, we'll wait until 5 minutes and we'll get started. I probably should remind people on WhatsApp, but then again, we have the link. If you have any questions now, yeah, in chat or whatever, then welcome, or otherwise we'll just wait.
Hey, Gleb, maybe a quick question while we're waiting. Do you normally keep a CLAUDE.md file also in the root of your Obsidian vault, like for the whole vault? Or is it just global CLAUDE.md and then separate CLAUDE.md in folders where you work?
Yeah, I have actually the CLAUDE.md in my Obsidian vault is basically my almost main vault in terms of content. Like the factual information about me, it's inside Obsidian mostly. So yeah, I have it, and actually now I moved it into .claude folder because then since Obsidian works with Markdown files, it sees CLAUDE.md as a normal Markdown file, and that's not what I want actually. So I removed it into the folder, the hidden one, .claude, and now it doesn't interfere with the Obsidian notes, and I can have a note about Claude as a model or as a name or anything. No.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. This is a bit confusing because it's like it should be CLAUDE.md, but it's just Claude for Obsidian, and it's a bit confusing.
Yeah. You can just move it to another file, and that's actually recommended, honestly, because then it's a dedicated folder. It's always the same. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't get mixed with other stuff. So usually, when something becomes more advanced, professional, you have to
Mm-hmm.
start collecting it into folder. And with Claude, you already, if you do something like hooks or anything, you already have to have this folder. So
Yeah.
it's better to start it doing right away.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So almost, I don't know. I have to ask Anton whether he would be coming live at all because I try in a way to make it customized for you, but obviously it makes more sense to customize it for people who actually come here. So you get the benefit of directing our process and choosing what we do. Okay, 1 second. I once again have my interactive presentation. It's once again experimental, but hope it works this time as well. I'm actually pretty excited. If you want, by the way, if you want something like that, if you're interested, I will gladly help you build a tool that is collaborative and real-time and interactive. It's surprisingly easy with Claude Code. You can, I don't know, create custom party interfaces for your kids where they can, I don't know. I'm thinking about my birthday is on Friday, and I want to do some kind of interactive part, and I think I'll just build custom interface. For example, I can have multiple boards which I switch, like I switch the presentation for you, and remote participants can also interact with it. I don't know, press buttons, write voice messages, something like that. Really crazy stuff is possible. You just have to have imagination. That's why I think, honestly, imagination is one of the most important things we have to develop, because many people have problems with imagination. That's, I know for sure, because I'm teaching those amazing tools, and sometimes a person cannot come up with one idea of where to use it. One. Come on, guy, this is science fiction material, you know. You can come up with something. And I also, the funny thing, I've seen a guy who, there was a guy who went to our Obsidian lab, by the way, and he had one idea, and with the AI, it so happens you sometimes can implement it really quickly. So he had some idea of a database structure or something like that for legal field where he worked, and basically he implemented in like 1 week, and he became bored and he didn't know what to do next. He was in a way disappointed that it was so easy. So with AI, it's better to have many ideas, honestly. Better few than one or none at all. But also AI can be like an external support for your imagination, because of course it doesn't have imagination in the same sense people have imagination, right? It doesn't have the experience to build it from, but it has a form of combinatoric, imagination. Imagination is something you just combine things that normally do not combine, and then you create something new out of this combination, right? At least if you read or go to a training where you develop imagination, this would be at least one part of your training, to create new connections between non-connected things. And AI is good at that. It's maybe it's pretty stupid, but at least it's not lazy. It can work all night, creating interesting combinations for you. And that's why I think AI science is definitely, it's not science fiction at all. It's already, I've shown you the example, right? The guy who replicated his political science PhD thesis with Claude Code in just an hour. So this is reality, it's doable. We still need people for that, but it's doable. And imagine that being repeated thousands times per day, with all the most recent data, always up to date. I mean, it's crazy what's becoming possible. Okay, so I'm sending you the link, and I will be sharing just like the last time. I will be sharing the Claude Code screen, and you can look at the presentation and copy the prompts and everything from the presentation. And there will be interactive elements just like the last time. It's in the link in the chat in Zoom. Yeah, it's the only comment is better if you open it on your computer. I'm not even sure it's gonna work properly on iPhone, but it might. It might. I don't remember if I have tested it. This is usually with AI, it's like an extra step. Oh no, it might work. Might work in some way. You will have to scroll, but it's still readable and copyable. Okay. Cool. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't be that strict. Yeah, so a quick recap of what we talked last Monday, 2 days ago. It's actually a benefit of this schedule. You don't get to forget too much, because in my other labs, there is like 5 days, 4 days between the sessions, and you forget everything. So mainly, and I will try to honestly highlight just 2 or 3 ideas. We discussed what agents are. right? And I tried to explain that it's actually it's nothing magical first. It's very technical thing. It's in essence a prompt, meaning a text, just a text. An agent is just a text. It's a prompt executed by large language model that has, which is an agent that has access to tool use. Tool use, it's reading files, writing files, generating images with a new amazing OpenAI image model or Nana Banana or whatever it is. Anything, any program on your computer can be a tool. Now we have already now we have with Claude Code computer use tool, and you can ask Claude Code to use basically any software, to use it to launch your Zoom on time, to schedule, I don't know, download some files from Dropbox and then, or from your photo archive on your iCloud, and create a textual description, and create a design of a custom-made magazine you have designed for yourself, for your family. I've seen a person creating a custom. She had like a huge e-ink screen. You know, it's like in Kindle, uh, and she would Claude would every day generate a custom dashboard with the schedule for all of the kids, for the husband, for the wife, the pickups, everything. And kids would look at it, and the husband would look at it. Everybody would look at it. So we are now coming to a point when where you can create custom anything. Let me show you. Yeah, I will share you my today's obsession, what I have designed. And if you want, we can do something like that. I will be showing it to you as an inspiration. Have already converted that into a skill, so I will share it. It's pretty easy to use. So if you know Edward Tufte, maybe some of you know him. He was like a famous infographics, I don't know, educator and practitioner. So he popularized those spark lines. They are called those little nice and really visual representations of some bits of data, right? So I have designed, this is my real data. I am digging into my work patterns with Claude Code. And as I mentioned a couple of times, probably, Claude Code gives us like perfect observability into when we work, how we work. And I also have Whisper Flow, which is a dictation tool. I probably mentioned it a couple of times. And it also gives you a lot of stats about what you dictate. And I dictate almost everything, right? So I also have like content rich traces of everything I do. And it came up with a bunch of really cool observations, like context switching, language switching, time of the day. Like I've seen some growth. Yeah, we have some growth of usage, which actually I like. It means that I used it all a lot. And there are some narrative observations here. I actually prompted it for many times. I've spent with this thing maybe like 3 hours or something. It did not appear in 1 minute, but I mean, it looks, I don't know, you tell me how it looks, but to me it looks pretty dope, I'd say, for something that was designed in just like this. I like it. And the best thing that in the end you get, I mean, it looks professional and scientific, and in the end you have really plain actionable list of items like do this, do this. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, really relevant list of very simple things to change in life to get it better. So yeah, I mean, it can be experimental, and I've already converted it. Where is it? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, there was another test report. No, that's not it. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'll show it to you later. So we can use something like that if you are into something, visualizing something about your current work with Cloud Code already, because all of you have some traces, so you can work with any kind of data, or you will have an access to this template later. So if you don't want to do it now, then no worries. You can play with it later. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I think everybody was last time. So yeah, to end my recap, uh, agents are a technical tool, basically prompt an LLM executing the prompt with an ability to use tools being any kind of software on your computer, command line software or your regular Zoom or I don't know, Google Meet, any software on your computer, Photoshop, Capture One, some uh, specific software, I don't know, for architects or something like that. I don't know, anything. And agents are also a context management tool. Okay. Yes, a quick review. If you can please vote. How was your homework? Did you play with it? I know that Jen at least she ran it. She encountered some errors and she managed to do it anyways. Anyone? Okay, cool. Somebody used the prompt on the real task. That's amazing. Cool. Yeah, I'm pretty confident one of you used meta prompting, because honestly, you do meta prompting with every single um, prompt. Every prompt is in a way meta prompt because it generates some more detailed prompt in the chain of thought, and chain of thought also in a way it's like a meta prompt, right? So it decides what prompt to generate in the end. Yeah, Jen, please.
So I'm slightly confused about the plot.md
Okay.
thing. So I have generated many projects, for example. So for every project, I need to have a plot.md.
You don't need to. You can and you may if you need to, because if the projects are the same, if the rules are exactly the same for every project, then you're happy with one CloudMD. And as I mentioned, the smaller the CloudMD is, the better. The best CloudMD is empty, so we shouldn't be too rigorous about adding lines to CloudMD. It should be like almost like last resort. It doesn't work without it, something like that. Not that I'm putting, because I see people I actually honestly I was this person. There was this trendy thing about kind of self-learning Claude, and you can easily implement it. You either you create a hook, or you just in the end of the session you ask it, let's reflect on this session and add learnings to the skills we used in this session. That's literally everything you have to say. And then it adds to the end of the skill, like a list of learnings from this session. And this way, your CloudMD or your skills can grow extremely quickly in size. And this means they will slow down, they will degrade the thinking of your model. It's not something you want. So yeah, you add only if you need it, right? For example, I don't know, you have one like a radical example, one project in English, another project in, I don't know, Ukrainian, any language. And then you probably have to define like this within CLAUDE.md so that it does not switch to language that is not relevant. Or I don't know, it's a different programming language, right? Totally. And or you have like projects for your personal life and your professional life, and you use, for example, totally different name, and I don't know, your domain is totally different, something like that. Then without CLAUDE.md customized for this project, it would be difficult to work. You would have to either load some files manually, or I don't know, I don't know. Yeah, so in this way, in this, is it a bit clearer? So it's not necessity. You actually add to this file only if it doesn't work otherwise, right? Does it make sense?
I know what you're saying. I'm just trying to picture it in my head. It's okay. I'll follow up with you separately.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah,
sure.
okay.
We can do it as an exercise one-on-one. Cool. Okay, then yeah, if somebody wants to share what was the practical use of the prompt on a real task, then also amazing. Okay, it's not.
I can share.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, I'm just finishing my food, so it takes me a second to unmute.
Sure.
I took a very interesting challenge. I have at work this leadership training program, and they invited an external agency to like train people in leadership. And they gave a few assessments, this like super long tests when you have to answer like millions of questions, and then provided this like profile overview for everyone. So what is your leadership profile? And it's a lot of decks. And also I missed one of the workshops and they just like sent a deck with exercises. So I created this setup in Obsidian where I keep my assessments. I have this master deck with all the exercises, and I generated with Claude the exercises as instructions for a coach. And I made Claude coach me on these exercises and record the results as insights to understand my leadership profile, weak sides, strong sides, and so on. And that was like a very interesting process because I bumped into a few trust issues or mental model incompatibility issues. But this is what I'm working on now, and it seems super interesting.
Cool. Thank you for sharing. That's really interesting challenge. Yeah. There was another person. If you want to briefly also describe your challenge.
So are you talking to me? So I a lot of my projects, they're just sort of half done. So for example, I think was the second meeting with you was to do a to-do app. And then I sort of built the to-do app, and then it was very simple. And then it comes down to me asking me to make a database in Supabase. And then I sort of stopped because I didn't really want to do that. Um, and then the other thing was I use Granola. So I wanted to bring all the transcripts into Claude to do summaries, and then to do summaries to develop into a proposal. I'm sort of almost there to sort of, because I wanted to summarize in a specific way, and I don't know whether I've thought too much about it, because I wanted to have specific like design thinking, the way that we would do the approach and how we would look at this problem. And then also have the timeline. I think I may have overthink it in my head rather than actually talking to Claude to do it. So that learning for me was more like, I don't want to say I trust the process, because I was evaluating some of the output. It wasn't as good as I wanted to. So I think there's a bit of a prompting technique that I need to do.
Yeah.
It produced a lot of stuff, but it's not the stuff that I wanted. So that's why I
That's
kept asking you, what is it that I need to put in to make sure that, Claude do it in the way that I want it to?
okay. In this respect, oh, it wasn't you. I will show you so that you understand that it actually takes a bit of time to get there. I will just show you how the real life automation looks like in terms of the prompting, and you will understand that it's almost impossible to get there, like in a snap. It takes a lot of iterations. It takes a lot of examples for now. It would be easy to achieve that. By the way, I am currently developing a skill for designing skills based on jobs to be done methodology. So, and it will be possible to feed into this skill just your regular session, and it will create those jobs to be done for you from your session. So you basically do your work once. The idea is such that you do your work once, really precisely. You check every single. Sorry, something wrong with my camera. You check every single iteration. You see that it works as expected, that everything works normally, looks normally, and so on. It takes you. Okay, let me switch to my normal camera. It takes you a while to do this, but let's run. Oh, okay. Sorry for that. It takes you a while to do that, but then you get like really long, detailed list of rules, basically. Part of them would be almost deterministic, right? It would be more of the algorithm, more of the framework, more of the template, something like that, than your like regular. So actually, what we learned from source code of the Claude code itself when it leaked is that it's basically 10% the model and 90% all kind of deterministic harness around it, right? So a lot of rules basically. So what you would come to, because what you describe them is basically some kind of process, right? Business process,
Yes.
ideation process. It lands onto some kind of any process can be described deterministically, right? You have predictability, like certain, otherwise it wouldn't work at all. If it was all chaos and nothing predictable, no steps defined, then it's basically impossible to replicate. So you can define those steps. You can, not everything is achievable with LLM, but actually LLMs become way more capable when they are combining deterministic tool use basically with their capabilities. That's what we see. So I guess that like with any process, as I probably mentioned a couple of times, almost all of my skills, they contain at least some code in them. Some text generation code, some basic cleanup for data input, some reformatting hooks or something like that. So a few Python scripts are usually part of any skill, even if it's like related to imagination or I don't know, idea generation or jobs to be done for that matter, right? It's all partially deterministic. And by the way, that's also important subject I wanted to discuss with you so that you are warned ahead of time. You came here in the right time because for now we still have old subscriptions, but already now it is known that 2% of the accounts on $20 tier, they no longer have Claude Code in them. So Anthropic is they mentioned it a lot of time. They actually want to come to a model where you pay not for the token use, but the percentage of value created, right? So the idea is that you have replaced like $5,000 developer with a $20 model. It doesn't make sense. It's still good for you. You have to pay a cut. I don't know, 100, 200, 500. You still are saving a lot, but not as much as with the 20 or even 200 bucks subscription. Even Claude Max was created not for coding, but for more intense desktop use, because when it was created, sorry, I don't know what's wrong with my camera. Let me switch manually. When it was created, there was no Claude code at all. So they see extreme rise of intense use, right? I've mentioned probably that they subsidize up to, you can spend, if you work all the time, you can spend like 5,000 USD worth of tokens easily, maybe even more. That were some of the calculations I've seen online, and my own data also shows that I'm spending like maybe 2,000-3,000 USD worth of tokens every month. So, and honestly, I understand it cannot go on like that forever. That's why I think it's also really timely period to talk about it. If you have like some processes that you are pretty confident they won't change soon, at least radically, do write as much deterministic software around them as possible. Like something you wouldn't need even Claude SDK or Claude subscription to work. Like I don't know, any kind of your to-do managers, I don't know, things that grab stuff from the internet, from some APIs, and then create some widgets for you. Or honestly, even research tasks, there's so much in them that is deterministic. Like you can just use like some basic search through PubMed, for example, if you are into like certain scientific content, and download everything that has the keywords in them. Like that already can be an very, very impressive automation. And then you can use some, when Claude Code becomes too expensive, there will be always much cheaper and also capable models, Chinese models. So honestly, Anthropic, I'm sorry to say that they are assholes recently. They are behaving like assholes, and they are very untrustworthy in terms of the business model and so on. The model is still the best. There's nothing better than that on the market. That's why we do it. That's why it's not Codex, for example. But Codex is also really capable. So if you learn to work with Claude Code, it won't be that difficult to switch to other agent, and they are all becoming really, really powerful and capable. Sometimes they are capable at different things. For example, Codex might be more capable if you need like really sophisticated front end with some, I don't know, the stuff I was showing you, the 4D kind of crazy things. It can do that. It can do 3D stuff. Complex, even brownfield so-called engineering. There are two types of engineering. Brownfield is when you have like your old software, I don't know, like Wikipedia, for example. It's obviously a brownfield project. It exists for 20 years or 20 plus years. I don't know how many. And it has huge legacy. Many people contributed to that. And AI is usually worse at working with pre-existing code than with creating new code. So most of you will only create new stuff, and that's where, if you use proper framework, you can easily maintain it in a pretty decent shape. It will work for you. Even pretty complex stuff will work for you. I mean, I have a brother, and he's just a designer. He was always a graphic designer, and now he has redesigned for one of his clients a huge 20 years old site for about cardiology. It has like huge number of publications, articles, everything, and he alone created. I mean, the such portal. Even now, if you go to a web studio, they will ask you to pay like in the ballpark of 100K USD and more for such kind of work, and he's doing that a lot alone in the period of like 2-3 weeks or something. It's crazy how accelerated we can be right now. But this entire pitch is just to say that like it's becoming more urgent to learn to use those tools, because if you do right now, you will be able still use even those way more expensive tools, but you will be do it way more precisely. You won't be wasting your tokens on experiments, So now it's still very, very good time for experiment. And if you can afford it, I would recommend you pick the at least 100 rate and go all in, because you will save a lot of money later by investing a little now. And I'm very confident those tools they are not going anywhere, even if they say this is like the peak AI. It will not develop any further. Even at this stage, it will transform the economy, how we work, how we think about work. It will transform a lot. I'm pretty confident all of you will believe this by the end of this lab. By doing some projects yourself, you will see how powerful you become with those tools. And of course, there's a lot of political stuff and political, ethical. Honestly, my course in my lab is not about political and ethical and all of that. You are here, you are definitely not, I've read the new term AI vegan. People who don't use AI for ethical reasons. Mm, and I can relate, but I don't fly. I haven't flown God, I forget, a plane for 4 years, so I've saved some CO2. I don't know if it works like that. Yeah, so there's actually a huge layer of it's, for me, it's really comforting to think that at least now, thanks to venture capital and those crazy, enormous investments from private equity firms and venture capitals, we can use them almost for free. We know that it's extremely generously subsidized, and yeah, let's use this opportunity to learn to use those really capable tools. It actually very funny for me to think. Maybe you've read, like 10 years ago, you've read about something like IBM Watson, like supercomputer, available only to McKinsey. And you can imagine that was like before GPT-3. It was extremely useless piece of software. I'm pretty confident it was way worse than anything any of you have right now. We are now equipped as, I don't know, it's incomparable to anything that was before. Okay, yes, a couple of things. Sorry, we'll go to practice as soon as possible. We haven't discussed context rot, and we'll get to it during the practice. Meta prompting. Basically, I've mentioned it briefly. It's very raw idea, very easy idea. We just believe that LLMs already know about themselves better than us. This is true. We will never know as much about large language models, prompting, and so on, as current agents already know and are capable of knowing. So we just trust them and we ask them to write prompts for us. Okay. That's for the, where is my boss? Yeah, context rot. Well, let me start this. So that's a very easy idea. LLMs become less precise when you give them more and more information. Also, to me, it helps to think just like about a human being. imagine you have to remember like 50 things at once, and you have to act on some plan in parallel. You would be losing stuff, right? You would lose details and precision. You wouldn't lose any of that only if you have a checklist, a plan. That's why LLMs also like to write plans and have to write plans. So the larger the context, the more you have the chances that LLM will forget something. In the worst scenario, it can hallucinate, like come up with some fake facts, numbers, people, scientific articles, and so on. In my experience, agents almost never hallucinate, but it might happen when it works more like an LLM, you know, not generating code, not using tools, but, you know, some writing some long text about you or something, summarizing or something like that. There I would be more careful than in the agentic mode, so to say. So there are a couple of factors, and honestly, not everybody who even teaches AI knows about this this property of large language models. So one really easy to remember thing: if something is really important, you have to put it either at the very beginning or at the very end of your prompt. And it's if you come up with a really long prompt, it's even okay to repeat something at the beginning and at the end, so that the model 100% confidence follows this rule. So that's to protect from what does it mean to have this context rot? Luckily, I don't have to translate it into other languages because it's always very difficult. Okay, someone said that it's actually already affected you. Yeah, this happens for me. Actually, I've encountered this so much during the last few days. I have switched to previous version of Opus, and I mean, if you try and use Opus, I think it's better to switch to previous version or use Opus Plan. Don't use Opus as is. I mean, if you are on $20 subscription, I'm pretty confident you are not using Opus all the time. Otherwise, I mean, I've seen people spend their limit on one prompt. This is like, I mean, it's it's too bad. So yeah, you can use Opus Plan. Yeah, and what I've seen is that we go on in the same session, and I was already maybe like half the context, 1 million context was filled in, and I've noticed that we are basically working. It's like a thread, just like a few messages back. We discuss something, and it just blanked all of it and just forgot some details, and I had like I would ask it to change some tiny detail, and then it would totally forget and change something, but some really stupid stuff. So yes, honestly, it's very possible to encounter when you see that the model is becoming like really like an older person, a person with like some high levels of stress or something like that, who's unable to keep like five ideas in their memory. This is already a good sign of that you are doing it, you're overdoing your context. Either there are distractors in the text, meaning distractors are actually things that were discovered by the guys who came up with this context rot idea. Those are answers, those are facts in the text that look a bit like what you are asking about, but it's not exactly what you are asking about. For example, the example they gave in the research paper is, for example, you have in the text something, a sentence where you have parts like the professor told that this book is essential for the reading, and you then ask, and then there's a couple of similar words mentioned around it, and then you ask a question like, what did student ask to say about this book, and it would give the wrong answer, the answer that the professor gave. So that's because there were those distractor words around it, the words, the combinations of words that are similar in pattern to what you are asking, but are not exactly that. And that's the consequence of LLMs. Remember, we discussed it. They don't have the world model, right? They are pattern matching machines. They don't really understand the relations between objects. Some really respectable scientists say that actually large language models are not the way forward, because they operate with just text, and text does not describe our reality entirely. Obviously, it does not describe it. We have like 3D world. We have so much more data than text. And, you know, Claude Code is the thing that is based in text. It doesn't have any, like, if I'm afraid if you ask both Claude Code and Opus to help us with creating something that requires really great spatial awareness, they would fail. Usually, at some point, I would try to use ChatGPT. You can try it right now. It's a cool experiment. You ask it, like, you share either photos, or you can just share the video, and you say to ChatGPT, "I'm located here in, I don't know, I'm in this area in Berlin. That's my address. I want to go to I don't know, to Alexanderplatz, right? Tell me what to do, where to go, like step by step. I'm blind, basically." And at least at GPT-4, I don't remember, 4.0, it failed miserably. It understood nothing about spatial relationships. Always asked me to exit the mirror and stuff like that. Okay. Yeah, so basically that's the solution for that is keep your context as small and clean as possible. That is why we don't use like any language that is disconnected from the task, like both saying thank you and saying fuck you doesn't make any result. I mean, all the beneficial results from swearing at LLM are anecdotal, and systemically, it would rather make your results worse, not better. So don't use it. Yeah, Anton, please.
I would like to clarify maybe whether I understand the concept of context right. So previously I didn't use agents. For example, I set up a project in ChatGPT, filled it out with information about my company, and then using it as like a copilot to guide my work. If I want to do the same, like I want to create a vault of MD files where I have also strategic context of my company, like the previous initiatives and so on. Is it also part of the context all the time? And should I also try to keep it short, or should I provide as many MD files as possible to provide it more information?
So if you have, so basically, if you're migrating from ChatGPT or from Claude Desktop, it's actually really straightforward. The memory they have is basically also, in the end, it's a text file. It's a text file with also very limited number of characters allowed in there. I've constantly, for example, on ChatGPT, my memory was constantly filled up to the brim and didn't allow to add anything. So it's like maybe 20K tokens or something like that. And this basically, if you use this project, this is a text file that is appended at the top of every of your prompts and is sent. As I mentioned, you have technically, it's very simple thing. You have like pipe in and pipe out. And pipe in accepts only one chunk of text, right? It's always anything you do, all this nifty magic Claude Code performs, it's just text. It sends texts, it receives texts, and then those texts become commands, right? Like execution of the programs and API requests and all of that. Makes sense? Yeah, Anton, please.
Maybe one more clarification. At least in the project, there is a project instructions. That's from what I understood. The prompt that is actually appended to everything else. I'm a product manager. Please act as my coach. Blah blah blah. And then there is project files. That's like the whole family of
Okay.
files.
Yeah. Project files. I think project instruction, like the basic instruction, is appended. The files it's like a very basic rag, right? It uses them when it needs them because they can be pretty large.
So they don't pollute the context of every session.
Yeah. It's basically like a database, like an Obsidian, for example. I can show you my this time CLAUDE.md. I have cleaned it up. Probably even if I have shown it to you, then now it's way better. Just a second. Where is it? So what I did recently is that I asked Claude to optimize the CLAUDE.md for size and size, clarity, and all of that. And it suggested that I move part of I don't see it, part of my settings into separate files. So if, for example, inside one project, for example, my case, I have my Obsidian Vault, and inside it, I have I used to have a lot of description of commands related to generating PDFs, or because I want my Obsidian, when I ask agent to export my PDFs from my Obsidian Vault, I want to use some very specific template, which is cool. It looks like it's a scientific paper, and I want it to work with Telegram the certain way. So what it suggested to me is that you basically create dedicated files for Telegram rules, for PDF rules, and you mentioned those files. So for Telegram, read this file. So it only loads this file when it needs this. And this makes so much sense. You can actually, if you are on Mac or Linux, you can actually even have like the same file basically in different places because it's called hard links or soft links. So like what is called in English, Yerlik in Russian. Do you remember this word?
Shortcuts.
Yeah, like a shortcut on Windows, basically. You can have, for example, one file which can be called from multiple locations, from multiple CLAUDE.md files, so that you don't have to. So there is a very important and sometimes too much obsessed about principle in programming called dry. Don't repeat yourself. So that's also something I try to do. Just it makes sense, to not repeat something, to have edit something twice if you can have an external config and it's editable once. So by the way, you can use this dry as a keyword for Claude, so that it designs a system that is kind of optimized for not repeating itself. Yeah, let me just a second. I cannot find my Claudia. By the way, do you know who this name is? What's the Claude? Okay, yeah, I found it. So yeah, that's my CLAUDE.md. That's yeah. So I have stuff a bit about me. I've shown this part to you, I guess. And yeah, here it has, this is basically almost deterministic stuff, right? It tells, sometimes it creates for me like daily notes, for example, if they are not yet created, and it tells it basically use this template to do this. Yeah, there's also some paths, and let me see, there should be, sometimes it has pretty, precise description of what programs basically to use, right? This is totally deterministic. This is costing me no tokens. It's pure code which it generated. Yeah, see, that's what it did. It generated a few files for that. Yeah, like meta. Yeah, you see what this is for Telegram. It's a separate file. We can take a look, but there's nothing interesting in there. And that's the way to keep your CLAUDE.md not crazily huge. But I think I can make it even smaller. I'm not sure I need this, for example, currently. So yeah, that's one of the ways to optimize that. And if you have this principle in mind, don't repeat yourself. Then it makes it so um, easier to design how you store files. For example, you then want to have some central repository with your rules that are universal. This is probably your user CLAUDE.md. And then in the projects, you can have some additional rules that are relevant to those projects.
So, Gleb, did you put your CLAUDE.md at the root of the beginning of? So you would have a big folder, right? That's all for your Claude work, but your CLAUDE.md is there, and then the other parts were just subfolders of the projects. Is that how you do it?
So I don't have too much CLAUDE.mds, honestly. I have my main CLAUDE.md, which is relatively small. It's not the one I was showing you. Yeah, let me show you the one. So yeah, my main CLAUDE.md, I'm actually proud of it. I was a bit scared to show you, but I'm proud of it. It's really tiny. So most of the like content stuff is in Obsidian, and it knows where Obsidian is. And inside Obsidian is that CLAUDE.md which I've shown you. This one it's a bit larger, but it's actually also not that huge. It's maybe like 10 kilobytes or something like that. Relatively lean. And yeah, you see there's a bunch of tools. I don't know why. Yes, that's important. That's something I will try to use. Yeah, and here you go. That's basically a menu of rules for different contexts. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, still this approach, it's really effective because it doesn't load those files unless it needs it.
Okay.
They are not becoming the part of context. They don't pollute it. It's really effective for Claude.
So essentially, you put a directory on your Claude.md.
Yeah, it's the CLAUDE.md in it's the core the root CLAUDE.md in my user folder, and it's like, yes, it's like a directory, like a list of
Mm-hmm. Okay.
like a reference. Look here, look here, look here, and then it's actually pretty effective at operating inside it. I'm actually a bit surprised that I have so little in here. I would expect at least a bit like read CLAUDE.md or something like that, but it works perfectly. I mean, I always say put it to my vault from anywhere, put it to my Obsidian. It never fails. It understands, and then I just say I have it somewhere in my Obsidian, or you can, if it's Notion, you can say, or Google Drive, you can say I have it somewhere on my Google Drive, And if you have the tool configured, then it does pretty decent job at finding whatever you mean, and it can be pretty sometimes. I mean, I'm not really clear at what I'm looking for, and it manages to find it most of the times. Okay. Yeah, another bit of theory, and let's go. For this one, we'll have the practice. Let me actually launch my, let me start this, and let me share my Claude. And you please also, that's the time finally we do some work. So I will be launching Claude. By the way, you can do this in the desktop app if you're more into it. This is totally fine. Unfortunately for me, they updated so quickly. They updated like twice a day or something like that. I don't know if you noticed, because every time I open it, it suggests that I relaunch it because they have some update. And when I relaunch it, if I haven't done it for like 24 hours, then yeah, that's once again I launched it. Maybe I've even launched it today, and they are already downloading another update. So this actually annoys me a bit. So if you're fine with that, you definitely can use desktop. There won't be anything like terminal specific today. Maybe even it makes sense for me to do it. I don't know. How are you feeling? Who of you would like to use the desktop version? Jen? Okay, cool. I mean, if it's something doesn't
No,
work,
it's fine. I can actually follow along, but I don't really do a lot of work in Claude Code desktop, but I use quite a lot of co-work because it's just very easy for me.
okay.
But I'm here to learn Claude Code, so it's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, I mean, Cowork is technically just a packaged Claude Code. So here we are a bit closer to, like, we have a bit more flexibility, but also it means flexibility make more room for errors. So sometimes Cowork might be just what the doctor prescribed. Okay, so a bit of theory. As I mentioned, yes, LLMs, they are and they will be more smart than us, at least in something that's related to their own structure, the way they work. By the way, I mean, it doesn't come as a given. I mean, for some people it might come as a surprise, but for LLM to have any kind of self-awareness, quote unquote, right? We also stepping onto philosophical grounds, which I don't wanna spend time on. I don't have qualification for that. So they will know how to prompt themselves better just because there is stuff about it on internet. There are scientific papers published. That's how they know about it, right? They don't invent it themselves. They read internet. They are trained on internet, and that's how they gain this kind of self-awareness, right? Claude 4.6 or 7, they already know about what Claude is, what the versions are, like they know about the founders, all kinds of cases related to those machines. So they are, in a way, I mean, it's not self-awareness, but they are informed, at least. And they are informed about how to prompt them. So yeah, you can go different ways. Firstly, about the prompts, just in case, I probably mentioned it before, don't use other people's prompts blindly. And usually it doesn't make sense to download someone's prompts, maybe just as a reference, but usually it makes way more sense for me right now to, if I see some kind of prompt and it has some potential, right? I see that it's not total bullshit. I just drop it into Claude Code, and in a really lazy way, I ask it, take a look. Maybe there are some cool patterns here, maybe some details, maybe some ideas that might be relevant to my project A, B, C, something like that. So don't take anything. This is already the next step to proactive position. I mean, maybe it will be even better to read it, manually, to review it manually, which I also suggest at least glance through it so it doesn't contain any nasty code. Or yes, you can do something like that. You can do, here is my prompt, you just paste it, make it better. It's almost like, it sounds like a joke, but it works. Or you can be more specific. You can become more specific if you do something like this, ask clarifying questions first, then you will be forced to be more specific by the LLM. So if you have some prompt already which you want to optimize, you can do this, and there's this copy icon on the right, and just copy paste this. And if you don't have, then you can start with the first prompt, and you have to basically replace. Yeah, if I have to open it, I need a prompt that will help me describe my projects in jobs to be done format. Okay. Check out how Skill Studio skill works. Okay, so I've edited my prompt a bit in an external editor. Yeah, you can see it on my screen in Zoom. And I will launch it. So this is meta prompting, and honestly, you can only use this technique. I haven't manually written. I have a lot of AI-powered products I've built over a couple of years. I almost never write prompts manually. I only edit them sometimes, not always. So all of my prompts are generated by LLMs. This might be obvious for some of you. This might be not so obvious for the rest of you. So this is the reality. We won't be writing the prompts manually, and you can start doing it right now. So what do we have? We have a list of questions. In your case, they will be different. By the way, if you don't like this wall of questions, you can ask it to do it one by one. Like, ask me questions one by one, one question at a time. This also can be a part of your settings, right? Because this is the behavior you will, if you go through these kinds of interviews, you will see such lists all the time. So if they annoy you, then it's better to configure it once and forever in CLAUDE.md. Okay, I will quickly answer. Yes, I will describe conversationally. Scope around our project. Yes, only one project, and push back if there is any scope creep. Let's make optional and trimmed focused version by default. Yeah, it's also a small life hack. If you're not sure, or you understand that your prompt, your agent, your skill should allow choice, you can say something, this should be optional, the user should be, I should be able to choose from the list or something like that. You can give a list of options if you know it's a closed list and it will never change. So you can direct it pretty precisely. Audience. It firstly me, but also somewhat tech-savvy product managers, people from IT primarily, educators. Can be anything, a website, an automation, a course, a consulting gig. JSON with one JSON per project, saved in some good default folder for that. Yeah, so I usually do it like that. Just dictate answers one by one. And sometimes it can ask you additional questions. I don't know if some of you have finished. Let me know how it goes for you. Or if the prompt is really easy, it can actually just switch to plan mode immediately. By the way, I was asking you, or maybe not you, about the block you might see in my Claude code. It's called Insights. Do you remember seeing it on my screen?
Yep.
You will see it. I will remind it about it. This is a setting called education learning style, something like that. You can ask, probably you can ask Claude how to switch to that if you need it. It's pretty cool because it does output some interesting findings in this block about how some tools work or about your process. I mean, it's cool. Okay, and you see, in my case, it decided it's enough. It has enough information to already create a skill. And I don't know in your case whether it suggests you to create a skill. My Claude, basically, maybe it's memory. I don't know. Have I asked it to create a skill? I just asked for a prompt, right? But I also mentioned the skill I already have because it has like a lot of details already. That's why mine maybe had not so many questions because it has like huge like number of facts from other skill, and it has created it. Okay. Okay, so it created some kind of skill. I see that in my case, I'm not sure if you're also creating skill or something else because your mileage might vary. Yeah, you see this block insights, and it's usually pretty concise and easy to understand. It's not in some extremely sophisticated technical lingo. And another thing they have introduced recently, we probably mentioned it, it's called recap, also pretty convenient feature. It allows you, yeah, it gives you basically what it says, a really quick recap of recent actions. And the cool thing is that it's creating those recaps automatically. So if you switch from some session, usually you can see at some point it creates those recaps. That's strange, not for this session. Okay, yeah, I will. So since I already have a skill, I usually, if it's a skill, if it's created by the process that does not involve skill creator skill, which is, sorry for that, it's called like that, skill creator skill. So they have a skill that is creating other skills. It's a built-in skill. It should be installed. If it's not, then probably there is one operation you have to do, the plugins. Yeah, Jen, please.
So Gleb, I'm trying to follow along, so I might have missed what you were saying. So I just want to confirm. So for example, your very first prompt, you said, I need a prompt that will help me describe my projects in jobs to be done format. And then you said the output should be jobs to be done in JSON. And then you say, check out how the skill studio skill works. Is that your own skill studio? So which means that, okay, so I haven't built one. So
yeah.
Okay, got it.
That's just it's also a bit of kind of I mean I've shown it just to let you know that it's possible to reference any kind of, while you do this, you can reference anything you've done before that. So on your computer, right? That's why it's basically an example of this dry principle. Don't repeat yourself. So if it's already described somewhere, I won't be retelling that for the model. I will just say, look there. And since, as I mentioned, I just recently worked on this jobs to be done skill, I just saved some time and just pulled some information from there. Because it's mostly technical stuff like list of fields, basically, you asking.
So if I'm in the process of building up my own skill, how should I say it then?
So basically you described like the only life hack is that you should check with if you have this skill creator skill. You see I have multiple, I don't know why, maybe
yeah.
If you have it, then basically you either can do this, select it and press tab, or in the desktop version it should be something similar like a tab, where you just click on it and then you say like I want to build skill ABCD. It's gonna be, and you offload all the context you have. Once again, as I suggest you do it, you think more about results, right? Not about the process or tools or anything. I need this, this, and this. It should be this color, this size, behave like that, take data from there, output it like that. So basically describe your end product, your end ideal result. Usually it's almost impossible to describe it to the last detail. So it's always a process of iteration, but when you come up, so you can build some kind of raw skill, just like I did. This skill, I'm pretty confident it's crappy. It's not great as of now, but I've already at this point where I have something and I can launch it, iterate with it. Maybe I will just go back because we have this resume. We have the what it is. Resume basically. And what else? Okay, we can double press escape and then we will be able to go to the previous step, and all the files that were changed, they will go back. So we risk nothing, honestly, here. So we can try and launch and see how it works. If it's totally crappy, then I sometimes I would go back and I would edit my previous prompt and just add some details and launch it once again. With way more context, well, not way more, but just more context, so that we don't go through this ping pong, iteration circles, but I get way closer to where I want to be from the first time. I probably mentioned that sometimes you have to build something that is throwaway, and see if it's like totally new domain for you. You know nothing about how it works, what are parts of it, what are movable parts. It just doesn't make sense to even try to build something that is not a prototype, right? You make it for experimentation, for maybe the best case scenario for me usually is that I can come close to production quality in one part of this job. This is already a really high bar. Imagine you have like all your processes surrounding your client work, this is everything from, I don't know, writing messages to invoicing to like real-time consulting to working through meeting notes and all of that. And the good goal is just take one of those like parts of the process and make like push get everything you can from large language models from maybe it's 100% automatable, maybe you will get one point when where you're human in the loop, but still you will save something, you will understand how the system works, the limitations, and you will have a little bit that works just fine, good enough to keep it like that for like some time at least. Also, it doesn't make sense to try to make it perfect from the first attempt. I have a lot of stuff that I do rewrite after a while. I just also you get the next model that is better, and it usually makes sense. You ask the new model, okay, take a look at this, at my automation, at my scripts. Maybe we should improve something for them to look better with you. They say you should be creating not for the model of today, but for the model half year ahead of you, because it will come at some point. There will be this new model in half a year. That's a given. Okay, let me continue with our demo. Anton, please. Sorry, I'm taking so long to explain.
Could you show again the prompt that you used to generate the prompt?
Yeah, it was really, really small. I need a
Yeah.
prompt that will help me describe my projects in jobs to be done format.
I guess my question is, it's a little bit difficult for me to comprehend because I don't know what the skill is yet. And I was
Okay.
wondering why you're asking for a prompt and the output is not a prompt, is not a text, but something else.
Yeah. I mentioned that. It's probably because I do so many skills and I have some rules about skills in my skills.md. And technically, as I mentioned, skill, agent, and prompt are the same. It's just a text file. So for it, it basically maybe it's an example of it behaving really dumb, or maybe it's because I cannot say it's because it's not a deterministic system, and we can ask it actually why. Let's do this. Why did you start generating skill when I just asked you about the prompt? So we have limited observability, so-called, the ability to understand what's going on inside the model's brain. So yeah, you see it. That's an example, by the way, of another tendency called bias towards action. So agents are they really want to help you by doing stuff, not just chatting with you, but by performing, by using tools. That's just, it's not like a magical emotional explanation. They were reinforced to those agents. They use those models are trained using reinforcement learning, meaning that in scenarios when they come to execution relatively fast, they were rewarded. So they literally were raised in an environment where starting to work as soon as possible was rewarded. That's why they sometimes jump to work really quickly. Don't hesitate to stop them. It's not a problem if you see they firstly in in current mode they asked for permission, so I could just press escape and say, come on buddy, or you can for that matter you can stay in plan mode, which I did just now, and this way you are sure it's doing nothing, it's not writing a single file, and you confirm everything. Before it can write into a file, it will ask for permission to switch into other mode, and you will have to confirm it. So no no autonomous work whatsoever. Please, Anna.
Yes, Thank you, Gleb. Actually, yes, I got exactly the same result as you. So I asked for the prompt and it did not create a prompt. But then because I have manual permissions for creating files and it asked if because the output file I was creating was the HTML, then he asked if I can create the HTML file and I said yes, and create also the separate file for the prompt. And it did create, and oh my God, yes, all the problems, because I explicitly asked it only use these files, but it also used other files, and I now can see it in the prompt that it just added for itself. So actually this is super handy, and the prompt was really, really good. My question is like a bit to the other side. So I'm working in the session, in this leadership training session, with a sub agent because I don't want to pollute all this file creation. So I need like the use case. I'm working with this leadership topic, and the session is mostly about Claude asking me questions based on the exercises. Now I also have a subtask. I need to send a status report to my mentor. So I spend a sub agent to do that, so I don't pollute the main context. Nice. So I understood. I was talking to Claude about Claude parallel, so I don't need to explicitly stop a sub agent, right? It will figure itself out.
Yes, you don't have to stop it, but you have a little bit of observability.
Yeah.
Like in the bottom, you see what here where it says two shells right now
Yes. Yeah.
for me. It also shows some other projects, some processes, and agents are also displayed somewhere there, and it looks something like that. Here
Yes, and you
it's
can, yeah, right. And you can also have agents menu, and then it will show the running agents as
yeah,
well.
yeah, and
Yeah.
this way as well. Right. So you don't have to stop them; they will stop automatically.
Yeah.
But the cool part is you can actually chat with them
Yeah.
by using @sign.
Yes.
Honestly, I didn't know it until recently. So they do not go disappear automatically anywhere. I'm not sure how well this will work if you compress session. That's also a big question. I
Yeah.
think it will fail mostly. Those sub agents are more like I'd rather think, and I thought about them as about really transient things, but turns out they are not. They are like,
Mhm.
I mean, they are like spirits. They are only there when you talk to them.
Got it.
All
Got
the
it.
other time they are not there.
Very cool. Thanks. That helps.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, Anton, please.
Sorry, I actually did get a prompt, like multiple lines prompt, which I would like to edit a little bit, but when I try to paste it, it pastes as like pasted text, small
Yeah,
label.
yeah.
How can I expand it to actually
Yeah,
actually?
you only the only option you can use is you can configure an external editor. I recommend Z, and then you will be able to press Command G or Control G, and it will open this text in external. Unfortunately, I don't know why they do it like that. It's totally not necessary. There are agents where you can do paste multi-line prompts, and they work just fine. Claude Code is a weird software. Yeah, so you need the best way is to have an external editor. You can press Control G, I guess. Yeah, Control G on Mac, and it will open it in some editor. It might be Vim or Nano. Nano is relatively usable, but those are all the command line, like the terminal based editors. But you can use anything. You can use Cursor, you can use Notepad, you can use whatever, any editor. You just ask Claude to use this or that editor as an external editor, and you're good. Maybe you will have to reload the session only. Yeah, to those of you who did not understand what I was speaking about, if you paste a few lines of text, if you type it like this, it works just fine. But if you paste it, you get this one stupid line with like pasted line or something like that. And to edit it, actually, you have to press Control G, and I will do it right now. So in terminal, it looks like nothing, but in my other window, in Z. Z is just a text editor, a really cool one, actually. You can use Claude Code right inside it. I recommend it. It's really nice little text editor, which is good at viewing markdown files, editing them. You can preview them here. It's really nice, and it's open source, by the way, and free. So I do recommend it. So I edited here, like I press Command S, I close it, and then it is updated in back in the terminal. It's a bit inconvenient, but it is what it is. Okay. We have half an hour. Let's see what we have. Yeah, also a bit of reminder. We already discussed the tools today, right? So for today, we only, some of you encountered read and write and maybe edit tools. I don't think any of you created any bash scripts. If you haven't explicitly asked your agent to look something online, which you could, by the way. Also, really helpful pattern, probably also discussed once, but you can research right from here, at least basic stuff. I'm not saying do all your PhD from this small input window, but some of the stuff you can research. For example, just basic stuff like, I haven't thought about like, can you search what actually Claude code skills or maybe automations are there related to jobs to be done? And there's a small hack. I don't know how long it will be valid, but it still works. If you want really fast, relatively good selection, you can ask to use something like Reddit or Hacker News. It doesn't work for everything, but for some subjects like that, it might work. And see what Reddit users are discussing like during the past 6 months related to jobs to be done. And the cool part, I mean, this is this kind of orchestration mode, right? So basically, I am the conductor. This session is my, I don't know how to say, maybe like the conductor's position. I don't know, this metaphor starts to break here. So those are my musicians, right? I tell them what to do. Or rather teams of musicians, small groups. I don't know if there's a special term for that. Like this is for brass, and I can launch some other group at the same time. And they know about the entire context. Yeah, by the way, let me see, shells. Oh, no, it's not it. Yeah, so it's doing some research. And it's a cool little hack. I mean, you can have way more detailed research. For example, I have a skill called deep research, which does exactly what you would expect it to do. It uses OpenAI's API and does a deep research. Every request costs like over $1, maybe $1.50. So I don't do that often, but sometimes when there's some really hot subject I'm interested in, I would do it for some purposes. OpenAI is not the only place where you can get some decent deep research, but I really like it. Deep research from OpenAI is really one of their best products, I think. Okay, yeah, we discussed that we can switch between modes using Shift Tab. Yeah, get used to it. It's not the most obvious combination of keys. And in desktop, you don't need Shift Tab. There is this drop down. Where is it? Yeah, let me, for those of you. So basically, when I speak about Shift Tab on in terminal, this means this part, the mode. It's Shift Command M on Mac, and you basically, by pressing Shift Command M, you open this menu, and then you can press 1, 2, 3 to switch between those modes. One being ask permissions, accept edits, and plan mode. Yeah, in desktop, plan mode, by the way, looks a bit differently. Yeah, let's do this in yeah, I've also shown the sub-agents. We can try sub-agents in desktop as well. Honestly, I haven't done it too much. Okay, quick audit. Yeah, we have a question on the screen, please. There are also 3 of you or 2 of you. How much do we have? Okay. Once again, Claude Desktop is really a solid option. Claude Code inside Claude Desktop, and it's less scary. It's not that intimidating. But I mean, once you get a few basic commands in terminal, you also get used to it pretty quickly. It's not that bad right now. Like 10 years ago, it was really ugly. There was nothing for that. Now you can basically just launch Claude Code. That's all you need. Okay, let's try one small thing. Okay, so I have this research. In my terminal, and I wanna quickly do this in desktop version. You also can do something like that. It's basically the one prompt we didn't use. Here's my prompt, make it better, or make it more. One of the keywords I use, make it more universal. Like I'm gonna be using this in many situations. For example, I'm creating a skill to analyze my meeting calls or meeting transcripts, and I can just ask it to use to create something, but I can ask it to create something universal. Like, and I then describe it. I have this and this and these types of meetings, or I just ask it analyze. Like here's the format of meeting calls, meeting files. Go through them in my Obsidian world, analyze what kinds of calls I have, and then we will make like universal skill which allows you to do to work with all of them. Yeah, so the prompt is, here is my prompt, or here is my skill. If it's already a skill, you can just put in the name here, and you say make it better, improve it, optimize it. Another thing you can do, which I will probably do it right now as well. I am working on improving the JTBD skill. First, review it using skill creator. It's okay to give your agent more than one task. Don't overdo it, obviously, but I do give them like entire chains of tasks, and they usually, unless the API is overloaded, they usually work decently. yeah, so if you are creating a skill, this is a good practice. Either initially create it with the skill creator. That's just a keyword. You say create using skill creator, because sometimes it creates skill without it, and then it does all kinds of stupid stuff, like naming files differently, using different formats, which are not default formats. So it's not that aware of what skills are, just like all of us, unless you use the special skill for that. So it will do that. And then I have this bit of information from the research I have conducted in Claude Code just right now. You've heard me creating this prompt. Yeah, so a bunch of trends. I haven't read them, and I will just analyze the trends and the skill, and suggest a few improvements based on the trends that will allow me market it, will allow me find more users, probably also analyze it for in terms of potential for creating some viral content on LinkedIn. So I'm doing a lot of stuff in one package, as you can see, like three, 4 different tasks for it. Sometimes, since I pay for ChatGPT, I also ask this, consult codecs, and come up with the universal solution description. Codecs. So it's codecs is basically an agent just like Claude Code, but from OpenAI, and they can work together. And I will use larger model for that. For some reason, I have this habit of also copying the prompts before submitting them. By the way, this is really important. I discuss it with everyone on every lab, because this is truly, truly important. If you do not use any tool to manage your clipboard, please do. This will save you so much time. I mean, something where you can store multiple clipboard items and switch between them. If you don't have anything for that, it's so convenient. It will save you so much time. You will become like almost 5 weeks just by using the clipboard correctly. Do you use anything like that, or should I show it? Cool. It's okay if you don't, but it's better to learn this late than never.
What I like to see the clipboard. Is
Oh,
it just
okay.
yeah?
Yeah. I will show it to you right now. So I even don't use special software for that. I use Raycast. I'm just not really sure if I'm able to share this. Oh, okay. If I share the entire desktop, then you should see it. Can you see my screen right now? Can you see it? So here is, this is Raycast. It's basically an app launcher. You create a shortcut for it, and then you can launch any app. I just type the title of the app, I term, and it sorts it them really cool, like easily. And you can also, with Claude Code, you can create extensions for that. For example, I created an extension for Raycast, which it has all my Telegram archives, like mostly like public chats, but I can search through all my chats on Telegram right from here. Okay, and here I also have my clipboard. So everything I copy, it's in here. All the links, and I can search through them easily. So I never this thing when you copy something, but then you had to copy something else and it overwrote it. It never happens. It's just impossible, and it's really cool. I mean, sometimes I store this like there are images here. You can also filter by images. For example, just press image and you see like all the screenshots I took today. It's really, really convenient. It's just such a saver. Yeah, so I highly recommend you have something like that. There are special apps like Paste. There's definitely stuff for Windows. I actually started using software like that on Windows, Clipboard Plus or something like that. It was many years ago. So yeah, that's apart from using like all those fancy Claude things. This is one of the major productivity improvements. Okay, for some reason it logged me out, I think. Does the presentation still works for you?
Yes,
Yeah.
at least.
Okay, cool. It's just logged me out for some reason, but I logged in already. Okay, so yeah, the improvement, let's see. Oh, so in my case, let me share the Claude desktop once again. By the way, I mean, honestly, if you don't like terminal, the more I look at it, the better it looks. See, it's just, I mean, it's decent design. It's easy to understand. I mean, it's already approaching the state where, you know, your grandmother would be able to use it. You just press the buttons, you see.
The thing I liked about it is on the top right-hand corner, because I was building my website, it actually allows me to preview.
Yeah.
So with the Tmux, I was sort of fumbling a little bit.
But by the way,
Like,
you can actually open browser inside the CMAX
yeah,
itself. It might be less convenient, right? But you can actually also rearrange it like that.
I did that. I did that, but it made me think a little bit. This one was more frictionless.
Yeah. That's true. But also, I might say it might give you less, but no, you can move it around. Yeah, it gives you flexibility. Cool. I mean, it's nice software. It's getting way better.
That's why you
Yeah,
have to update every time.
yeah, but this, I mean, this honestly, it's honestly annoys me a bit. I cannot spend like 2 hours without an update. When ChatGPT just released their codex apps, they did exactly the same, like 2-3 releases per day. That's cool, but also it means they release such rough raw software. They have to patch it 2-3 times per day. Okay, let it work for now. What do we have? Yeah, the tools. That's what we discussed. Okay. This one, I mean, we only have 10 minutes. Sorry, it once again took more than we expected. I expected. I don't think it makes sense to make this right now since we have only 10 minutes. You can do it on your own, but also if you have already used the skill I have provided, then it already has even more advanced way to do exactly the same. So just chat to this skill and you will create this personal context file, which is really important. And I mean, it's not necessary, but it's helpful to have something like profile.md. Maybe you can have several ones. This will help you at some point. For example, I mean, especially if you are, for example, a public speaker, just put in this personal context file everything you will need to generate your bio, maybe fetch automatically using Claude some stuff from your LinkedIn and then edit, leave only the stuff you need. Just have maybe 1, 2 A4 pages of text about you, about your occupation, interests, which you can transform into various kinds of artifacts, right? It can be your tiny website, it can be your I don't know, visit card, it can be I don't know, your artistic bio, your biography, your bibliography, you know, anything that will like will be an extended version of an answer to a question, what do you do for living? You know, something like that. The longer you work with an agent, the more you realize that, okay, it would be really convenient now to have like my biography for the last 5 years or something like that, or have different versions of my bio. I usually, by the way, it's a really nice hack to give Claude. You can use it with ChatGPT, obviously. Really precise constraints in terms of the volume of the text it should produce. Like, produce me exactly my version of my bio that is exactly 3 paragraphs, something like that. But for that, you have to have like a few pages to get some good results for a prompt like that. Yeah, that are some ideas of Claude code. What the angles for you might be. I don't know. I mean, for Anton, sorry, it looks too technical, but it did not have enough context about you. Yeah, for Jeng, personal as family school admin, email trash, weekly digest. I don't know. Sounds a bit generic, but maybe something like that. Yeah, Jen, please.
So I used Claude Cowork. I said, give me a weekly, no, give me a daily debrief of my email inbox,
Okay.
and then do a listing at 7:30 a.m. in the morning. And with that little bit of text, it gave me like it read my email and then tell me, this is my daughter's email. These are the things that I need to do. And this is the meetings that I need to go to. Just by talking to co-work. I didn't ask it to do any agents or anything. I was very surprised.
I mean, Kokh technically, as I mentioned, it's the same Claude code inside. Yeah, and it has even more kind of bundled. It tries to hide even more inside processes from you, which is a good thing. I mean, if it works for you, please do use it. It's totally fine. They should share some context or all of the context. This I have to check honestly. I'm not sure. So they are technically the same tool. So yes, you can use it. I mean, especially if the tasks are like basic. I mean, yeah, nowadays stuff like, check my email and help me, build a dashboard are really basic. It's not, scientific discovery or something like that. So for that, it might work perfectly well. And they also have dispatch in the desktop app. Is it Claude? So basically, if you have an app on your phone, even without any kind of Telegram or anything or Discord, you can control remotely your computer. You just open the dispatch on your phone and give commands to that, and you can approve commands. It's really cool. So yeah, Kokh is great. But we still work with the Claude Code because it gives you the maximal flexibility. And I promise you, if you wanna like do advanced stuff, you will touch the limits of Kokh at some point. And it's better for you to know all this heavy lifting stuff. And then you will do whatever you want in Kokh. And then if something happens, you just switch to next tab at least, and you know what to do. Yeah, the good thing about desktop app, as you can see, remember we discussed, Anya asked us about the plans. The plan, here it is, just right here. You know, it's always available. You can always see it. I mean, it currently, you know, this funny thing about AI, people say that it's like it makes you dumb. Honestly, if you if you do read what it writes, you have to be really smart. Especially if it's like some hard domain, it's really cognitively challenging. Honestly, I don't always read like with full attention, especially if the stakes are low. I mean, if I'm writing an automation for, I don't know, my shopping list, come on, the stakes are none. So I might just agree. By the way, that's also one of the conceptual things. One of the things you can make part of your flow, and we will do that on probably next practical lesson. You can ask Claude to generate few prototypes or few full-blown projects. Why not? If it's something like really basic, really easy, why not generate complete, I don't know, backend and front end and something like that.
Yeah, but I was just wondering, because Claude has done this Claude design.
Yeah, that's another thing.
So I have been thinking about using Claude Design as like developing prototypes as well. But I
Yeah,
have
it's a
not
good idea.
played too much with that. I just use it for like getting the right color palette, very simple stuff.
Well, Cloud Design was released like 3 days ago. It's totally fine. I've only touched it really briefly. It's a cool tool. I saw the results. I've already seen some demos. It's definitely powerful, cool tool that will. I'm really optimistic about it. By the way, they have dedicated limits for that. So when you use it, you are not using the Cloud Code's limits. So by all means, do try it, at least for production of presentation, for example. If you have some text, just drop the text in there and it will give you some, at least starting point, some custom presentation. Why not? Yeah. I mean, the issue with tools, we definitely need something for design better than, you know, what we have now, because I was the thingy, the graphs I was showing you at the beginning, I was working on that the entire day, and it took me like many iterations to get there. If I would have some more visual environment, some more tailored tools, I would spend less time, you know. So definitely we will get more improvement in this area. But also with the new tools, it's always, you know, it's always better to wait for a couple of months, you know, or at least a couple of weeks, because they are usually very buggy. The first few weeks, it's always, that's why they update it all the time, you know, probably because of design as well, because it's also the part of the app. So no rush here, honestly. With all those tools, they, by the end of this lab, you will have another 3 releases. By the way, have you seen the ChatGPT new image model? It's just mind-blowing. I actually even wanted to show it to you, but it's just crazy. Right. If you have paid ChatGPT, I don't know, I'm not sure about the free one, but on the paid, and they also have it on OpenRouter, which I already mentioned. It's just like an aggregator service. It's crazy expensive if you use it through API, but through ChatGPT, I was playing the whole day. It's no longer just an image generation model. It's a reasoning model with image generation capability. They have solved text generation totally, 99% precision, no mistakes, no hallucinations. It's crazy. Take a look. I've been playing it all day. I've created an updated version of myself and I have sent it to my girlfriend, and she did not recognize that it was an AI. She even cried. That's crazy. Okay, I don't wanna spend too much of your time. You have this board. Probably I have to do something so that you can use it. There are a few tasks there as well. You can try and accomplish them. What do we have? Yeah, so that's why we need this background file. So we need something in this background file, because the further we go, the more often we will use this file. So do have it. There is this another prompt that already uses it for automation generation. Also, it's really primitive. Okay, thank you for your response to the vote. It's also, we will use it. What else? Yeah, that's another task to write. Basically, exactly the same prompt. There's also this timer you can use. And what else? Yeah, quick break. No. Okay, I don't know. This is probably for five hours. Okay, there's a couple of exercises you can do parallel legends. And the next time, I promise we will. So the most important thing, you should have this background MD. And the next time we will build something more real and useful, I promise. And if you want to play with my graph generator, the thing I've shown you, if you have any data, I will just put this skill on GitHub, and you can generate your own really easily. It's pretty wild.
Gleb, I have a question because the thing is, I don't really have a data vault. Like I don't have like
Sure.
Obsidian, and what I have is Google Drive folders and bits of things in Notion. So how do I point? I don't know what's a technical word for Claude to be able to suck up information for Google Drive and suck up information from Notion. Is it I have to
Yeah.
connect them with, I suppose there's connectors
Yeah. In desktop, there's
yeah.
basically you could just do this through this interface, and you're golden. And even in terminal, it's actually just there's a menu. Let me show you.
Is it
Uh,
slash connector, something like that?
Probably, I think it's even something else. Just one second. They had like dedicated menu for, I guess.
I think for me, what would be interesting is because your skill to gather all the data and then develop this sort of asset that you have just shown, I would be interested to know that if I were to point it to my Google Drive, what will
Yeah.
happen?
Yeah. Anything. I mean, the only problem with Google Drive is that usually it's not marked down, so you will still have to convert it, because, as I mentioned, Markdown is basically a native format for AI in general, right? Not only Cloud Code, but all AI. All AI is trained on huge data sets in Markdown format. That's why it's like the mother tongue for them. But it will manage itself. So one of the ways is through those connectors. Another way is in terminal is called GWS, and in Cloud Code in desktop you also can use them. In Cowork, it's through connectors, I believe. So it's really easy, honestly. I've tried it for you, and it worked like a charm. So I did nothing almost. I just asked
But
it to
what
use.
happens if a lot of my documents are actually visual, for example, slides, a PDF, sometimes it's literally like ebooks. It's quite a lot of PDFs. So is that how do I have to convert them to markdown files?
Yes, the best version would be so there. I mean, it's we can discuss it for a long time. The best version is to convert them to Markdown files, and I've done an extensive research on that, and I will just give you a recommendation which tool to use. It works perfectly. It has like a lot of layers. It does like 99% efficient work. It's just almost solved, including like sophisticated scientific layouts with tables and all of that. So this is not an issue, but it will take just basically your computer time, not money, not anything, just some time for conversion. Then yeah, I mean the thing is, it's better for you to have at least some folder on your computer that is, it can be automatically synced to iCloud or to Dropbox or Box or anything, or Google Drive, if it allows you to sync with just normal files. I think it does. Because I mean, it's just faster, it's faster for it not to go for like every time into the cloud, but it's possible. It's possible. You can work with Notion all the time, but I would use it as, as more like an end destination. So for example, you have your session, you work locally, and then you put the like end result for this day to Notion, for example. You can do it more frequently. You will just have to experiment how much tokens it consumes. For example, Notion, it has an MCP. Maybe it's also available through connectors. I don't remember, but through MCP it works just great. I mean, I've myself, I use Notion to publish pages very quickly, because you literally can do everything from Claude Code, and you just get, for example, I ask it publish on Notion and copy the URL to my clipboard, and here you go. You just go and paste it to someone, and it's great for that. But it's not great for like being like a constant storage where you store like every change. You will just spend too much context and honestly time on that iteration. So I would have like some temporary folder, like my working folder. Maybe you even clean it like from time to time, but you have your core markdown files still there. But maybe, I mean, you can try. I mean, let's maybe just try how fast it works, because it depends on many things, like your internet connections, all of that. Maybe you can
Okay.
directly work with the. I can tell you for sure that for PDFs, there's, by the way, another life hack you can use for PDFs. You can use NotebookLM.
Yeah.
There is a way to connect NotebookLM to your agent, and it's like the craziest life hack, because
Yeah.
then you can query like 50 sources, up to 50
Yeah.
sources in
Okay.
one. It's really cool. Maybe this can be an option for you. So you will programmatically create a bunch of notebooks in NotebookLM, upload sorted library there, and then you will query whatever notebook is like the most relevant in this context. Something like that.
Okay. Thank you. It's just I know that there's a lot of hype about Claude Code and Obsidian, which I'm sure it's great. It's just that will be another database for me to create.
Yeah. I mean, but still, just Obsidian. There's nothing special about Obsidian. It's just a folder of files. So, and it's a good viewer, but also that which I've shown you also is a good viewer. So, I mean, I love Obsidian because you have connections. You can click on the links, and then you can create all kinds of structures. And now Claude Code does that all for me. I mean, I've shown to you, I think. I write almost nothing manually. So every aspect of the management part, the where to put it, how to tag it, how to interlink it, it's all done by Claude Code. I don't touch it at all. So maybe if doing it like that, then it's not. But also, yeah, I respect the mental space you need to put in so many new ideas and products. So by all means, try and work with whatever you have. In the end, for the agent, we just need the text. We don't need the editor. It's just the text on the file system in a certain format. That's all that matters.
Thank you. I think NotebookLM is a good hack, so I'll give it a go. Thanks.
Yeah. I will send to the chat the link to it's a Python package that allows you to work through agents.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you. Also,
Okay.
I'm just checking. Are you going to drop in the link to all the recordings in the WhatsApp?
Yes, but they are accessible on that site. The only one we have, the agency.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, I'll do it. I'll do that. Everything is uploaded and it's working.
Okay, that's fine. I can go to. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to spend any more of your time. If you have questions, please welcome. The chat is also yours. It's for the questions as well. Once again, there are no stupid questions. There are basic questions. It's really important to figure out basic questions as soon as possible, because then we'll get to more advanced levels. So don't keep it to yourself. If you don't understand anything, it's my responsibility to help you understand. I realize there are many things that are not clear so far. If you feel it's critical, please let's address it, or use Claude, explain me like I'm 6, all of that. It's really effective. But I'm happy to do another attempt of helping you if you're stuck.
Thanks, Gleb. So far, so good. Just excited
Cool.
to try.
Okay. See you. See you soon. On
See
Monday.
you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.